Ambowe miyaba kashti bashaka ko uwa shanti nakati shandanda. Please go and check out my Telegram channel. The link is below because that's where you're going to be able to get all the extra detail that you can't get here. I'll see you there. Hello, gorgeous, lovely starseeds and light workers. It's Alexander Quinn, Starseed Navigating the Light. And today I'm going to cover a topic that a lot of people ask me all the time. What is light language and how do you speak it? What does it mean? This crazy thing that comes out of your mouth. A light language is often the most integrated part of your higher self, sometimes from the past or future aspect, actually can come out as a dialect. Now, it's very, very helpful if you have your crown chakra open, but specifically you need to unblock your throat chakra. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit difficult for that beautiful language to start seeping out. So there's various places you can go to these days. You can go to a healer or someone who can unblock your throat chakra if you've got a bit blocked, and keep your crown open so the source can come down through you. Now, as you integrate more of your star families or beings that you're working with, you will start to integrate more different types of light language. So, for example, I started with Arcturian because I resonated with the Arcturians a lot. And then as I started doing more healing sessions and working with people, there's a being that I bring in from Antares. And when I bring that being in, I then start speaking the vibrational frequency in vocabulary in terms of human terms of Antarian. Some people would call it mantis. But as you start to work with more beings and integrate more different aspects of yourself, different types of light language will actually come out. Now, the light language that you have has galactic codes in it, so you can use it for all types of things. Healing, I would suggest that if you're going to start getting your light language up and running, that you would go to someone and get them to do a light language activation to actually get your light language up and running. And a lot of the modern language that we have these days, the original sounds to a lot of light languages are actually not congruent. So if you are a little bit stuck on trying to get some inspiration for some of the syllables and the sounds, go back to Aramaic, ancient Egyptian, Sanskrit, and listen to some of the original languages, because this is where some of the sounds come from. Now, it is also really, really important when you're developing your light language and you're going to start speaking it, that you try not to have what is expectation, perception of what you think you're going to be speaking. Because there's so many different types of soul fractals that we have that link to different places. Anything really could come through, but don't worry about, oh my God, my light language is going to sound like that when it comes through. I don't want it to sound like that, because it'll feel like home when it comes through, and what comes through will meant to sound like whatever it's meant to sound like at the time. Some people speak dragon language, which is a very guttural, like that. It's a very guttural. The Pleiadian light language is very like that, and Arcturian is when I speak mantis, I have to get more into character to do it and bring the mantis being in, but I show you at the beginning of the video how I do that. And light language is a very interesting thing, because often when someone around me speaks light language, I hear it telepathically in my head. And I know when I'm around someone else who speaks light language, because their light language starts to integrate with mine, and my light language goes a bit funny, and ooh, it's gone off somewhere else. And then I start integrating their light language. So you start becoming susceptible to other people's light languages. So it's a bit like if you went to go and live in America, in the South, for a very, very long time. You know, boy, we're going to sit here, have a couple of beers, listen to country music. You know, you start getting the different dialects of light language that start coming through. So it's really, really interesting stuff. I personally use my light language for healing. And sometimes you can use it for lots of different funny things. Like if you're feeling a little bit down, I will ask my Arcturian self to come down and tell me something on a soul level that's really, really funny. and I will speak these galactic codes, wait, and then I start bursting out laughing. And I don't know what I said. Sometimes you know what you're saying. Sometimes you don't know what you're saying. You have to unplug your mind to get it out of the way. It's a feeling. So in much the same way, if you listen to an Italian person speaking to another Italian person, you can get the feeling of what they're saying. And as time goes on, you will understand what you're saying the more and more you practice. Now, another way that you can get to try and figure out what you're saying, as your light language really starts to develop and you've got the strong intellect, what I started doing with my Arcturian light language was doing a sentence at a time. So, for example, when I go out for a long walk, I would say, "These fields are beautiful and green. I feel really happy today. So you can practice saying a sentence in light language and then say it back in your preferred mother tongue or language, and then you can write it down if you like. Now, some people like to write down light language, and the best way to do that, I personally find, is to ground and neutralize. If you don't know how to do that, do go to my video about 12D shielding, because I ground and neutralize first so that you can get it into a good energetic place. And then begin your light language. Sometimes you can be speaking your light language while you're writing it down, or sometimes you can just ask your higher self or your integrated star family to say, "Integrated star family, please give me the codes," and you start writing it down. You can sometimes use your third eye to do it with your eyes closed, or you can just start writing automatic handwriting and you can keep practicing it. Everyone is different, and my one personally slopes downwards at an angle like that. But you'll find that yours might go in a different direction. So that's just a little bit of about light language. It does have some incredible healing abilities. One time, someone was listening to my light language, a friend in Brighton, and suddenly her period pains went away. So when you're speaking your light language, you're bringing down codes. It's particularly good for healing, and on a soul level, the soul level remembers it. So it's something on a remembrance level. It's not something you're learning. So it's something that's already integrated, and usually what will come through is whatever star family or integrated star family that are closest to you. And as you start to work with more beings, or you bring other beings into your presence, their light language or their dialect will start to come through, and eventually you'll be able to speak Pleiadian, Arcturian, Mantis, and all of them. So it really is about parking your brain off to one side, relaxing, and allowing whatever is going to come through to come through. So let's discuss a little bit about how you start speaking it and how you get it up and running so you can start speaking light language yourself. And then I'm even going to throw in some things that I do when I'm teaching light language with clients. And we're going to do it right now on this video just for a bit of fun. So you can get your light language up and running really quickly. Okay, so this is how we do it. So I like to ground and neutralize first. As I said, it does help if you can have someone do a light language activation for you, preferably finding out who your star family are so you can have an idea of what it is that might actually come through. And then do get into your breathing, relax your body, open up your crown chakra, open up your throat chakra. And you want to start practicing your dialect and get your mouth moving. Now, the first thing is you want to start practicing the vowels, and you want to start doing your toning. So start with the A, I, O, U, and get your jaw relaxing to see what it is that's going to come through. Ask yourself, say, "Higher self, please bring my light language codes through now. Creator, please bring it through now." And then begin the toning. A, I, O, U, E, and move the jaw around, move your lips around, and practice with the vowels first. And then another thing that I get some people to do is to practice toning the chakras. So the chakras have very specific sounds. Om, lam, sham, and you can look up the different tones for the different chakras. So tone the chakras, tone the vowels, and then what you're going to slowly start finding over time is that in between vowels and in between sham, lam, ram, om for the third eye and the vowels, little elements are going to start coming through. So you might be toning going ish. Oh, that's a word that just came through. Ish. Ish. And that's interesting because when I was doing shamnia, shamnia. So I've got ish. I've got shamnia, ish, shamnia. And you're going to find the more that you start practicing and letting go and getting your mind out of the way, that it's really going to start flowing through. Now, when I was getting my Arcturian light language up and running, I remember I was getting all these little sounds together, and eventually I started getting ram, and ish, na, ka, ish nam ka, ish nam ka, ish inkan kanshi intia watia shankania waya. And it'll start flowing, and it'll sound like gibberish in the beginning. But that's your logical mind telling you that you're doing something wrong. You're not doing something wrong. This is allowing your star family and your integrated higher star self to come through. And it has to flow out, even if you think it's rubbish or not. It's a bit like when you start channeling for the first time. Is it me? Is it spirit? Is it me? Is it spirit? It's always the way. So practice your toning and ask your higher self to come through. Now, we're going to practice something for a little bit of fun right now. I'm going to speak something in light language, and then I want you to say something, and then we're going to break it back down, okay? Right, so this is for you at home. Here we go. So I'm going to say this. Okay, now you go. Okay, and you can pause the video to do that bit if you want. So, what happened? Did you say something? Okay, if you didn't say something, don't worry. Let's break this down a little bit smaller. So, we're going to play a word association game, and then we're going to turn it into light language. This is what I do with my clients to get their light language up and running really quick and get the brain out the way. Okay, so let's try it. So, I'm going to say a word, and I want you to play along with me. So, if I say cat, you say... If I say tennis ball, you say, okay, let's try some more just to get you going. And then we'll move into light language, but just single light language words to get your higher self playing the game with me. So if I said table, you say, if I say iron, you say, okay, so now we're getting into a rhythm. Now let's try the light language. Okay, so if I said ishtia, you say, if I said kiawana, you say, let's try another one. If I said iawat, and so on and so forth. So this is how I get my clients up and running really, really, really quickly. We play the word game, and I will bounce just single light language words off them and get their higher self to come through. Just then get single words out. And this is how it begins. And as you start to integrate more beings, channel more beings, you'll speak their light languages, and it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow. Yeah, so I would recommend practicing it every single day. And then you'll start to get to a barrier where it'll be like a floodgate. And it'll just go whoosh like that. Now, some people like to use their hands. I don't use my hands very much when I'm speaking light language. Some people feel like that, they want to use their hands. If you are being called to do that, it's really, really important. You should do that because there is a flow of energy coming down through your body, and stagnated energy in the body does cause disruption. And you don't want to have stagnated energy. You want to be using your arms and your hands, and if you feel like they're going to flow, let them flow. Same as if you want to start, if you feel like something is going to come down through your hand, start writing it down, start writing the light language down, because sometimes it might come down through before you start speaking it, and you'll start getting symbols. If you don't know how to do that, just get pen and paper and just say, higher self, creator, please start bringing the light language codes down. and sit in front of pen and paper and just see what comes out. Start scribbling, start automatic handwriting, and just allow what comes through. It might look like nonsense to start off with, but as you keep practicing it, it'll symbols will start forming. And I remember when I started doing it, I looked at the symbols of other people. I thought, oh my god, it looks similar to theirs. If you do know who your star family are, and you resonate very strongly with one type of star family, try going and listening to Lemurian light language, or try going and listening to Pleiadian light language, see if it triggers you. And I remember, and also, of course, as I said in the beginning of the video, go back to the original languages, Sanskrit, Aramaic, ancient Egyptian, because you'll find that unless you're speaking Mantis or Dragon light language, if you're speaking some of the more linguistical ones that have roots in some of the English language, the ancient ones, some of those sounds will help you actually progress a little bit faster. I hope this has been incredibly helpful. Do unblock this area. Get someone to do a light language activation for you. Practice your toning. Look up the tones for the chakras. Practice your A, E, I, O, U, A, I, O, U, yeah. And practice the tones, the words, the vowels, the consonants. See what you start developing. And turn it into your own, because your own will be a light language that other people are speaking to. And I've had people I've met that when I'm speaking to them, they have a dialect that's very, very similar to mine. So good luck, all the best with your light language. It's such a wonderful thing to have. You can use it for so many different purposes, and enjoy yourself and have fun with it. Okay? God bless. I'm Alexander Quinn, over and out. Ciao.